stainless table in the middle. So today we have Ron. He's going to show us 3 different salad dressings. My idea with this was that many of us at home make a lot of different salads, and sometimes everybody's always like, God, you guys have great salad dressings. Well, how do you make them? How do you make them? How do you make them? So at least if everybody knows a few basic ones, that's something that you can easily do at home and with all different types of salads. So Ron, go ahead.
Okay, today we're going to do 3 salad dressings in what I call, I don't know necessarily it's true, but it's a vinaigrette style. Just, each one is different, a different approach to it. So really to create a salad dressing, you only need 2 items. That's a fat and an acid. And the fat is oil. It can be olive oil, grapeseed, sunflower, safflower, really any oil you're comfortable eating. Those first 4, that's what I would choose to use. Anything other than that, you're getting into more GMO and things that aren't quite so healthy. And these things are infinitely adaptable. You can throw anything in, take anything out, pretty much, except for those 2 items, the fat and the acid. The acid can be lemon juice, lime juice, vinegars, any of the vinegars, fruit vinegars, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, rice vinegar. And if you were going down, say, like if you're going for something more Asian, you could use like a sesame oil and a rice vinegar. And sesame oil is pretty strong, so you want to just use a touch of that. You could also like the fats could also be dairy, eggs if you go that route.
Talk a little louder.
Where did I leave you at? Where did I leave you at? What was that?
Hello.
We can't hear you, what?
Just go for the
So the fat could be dairy, sour cream, yogurt. It could be eggs. That's more creamy. We're going to concentrate on the vinaigrette here. We're going to start with the mustard first. And because that has all liquid ingredients, wet ingredients, not necessarily liquid. So these things are usually just thrown together, and I like try to work out my proportions here. So we're going to start with half a cup of oil. I'm using olive oil. Then we have a third of a cup of agave. This would normally, be honey. Honey can be strange depending on where you get it from, what it's made from, how the bees are feeling, whatever. Agave is pretty standard, and I like agave better, but honey certainly works, and most of the time you find honey is the partner for this. And so that was a third of a cup of honey. You have a quarter of a cup of Dijon mustard. And agave, I find with this particular Dijon mustard we have here, it's the agave seems to marry up better with that. And then we have a quarter cup of lemon juice. And that is it. All salad dressings are basically an emulsion, and an emulsion is making things that don't want to stick together. And so, vigorous application of the whisk and love. Just go after it. Yeah. So that's it. You will find. I like to make a salad dressing at least 30 minutes ahead of time. Let it sit. and come together, but in that time, they will also separate. You know, they'll go back into its individual components more or less. So, so you want to whisk it again.
Can I ask a question about the whisk? Is there a difference in going like this or going like this? Is there a proper way of doing the whisk? This is like the actual question.
Yeah. No, I do it like this. If it's a bigger whisk, I use your wrist more.
Okay.
But,
so you don't ever go like this?
No.
Okay, I'm going to have to do it like this.
Jackie will do that in a glass. It's
Okay.
probably better. You
Right? I somehow like it's like.
But
yeah, I like
you can
that.
get more air and more
Okay.
whisking in there. So if anybody would like to take a
So shaking it in a glass thing would
we
be
can do it that way. You can do it in a glass. So.
But again, the hand is what brings the.
Big difference on the blender.
Yeah, exactly.
See if she definitely. And you always want, when you're doing this, you want a bowl, just like with the chai, you want a bowl that has some depth to it, so when you're whisking, you're not pouring it all over yourself in the kitchen with anybody standing close by. So,
I'm definitely getting from Dave Yanni, and somehow I think I pulled it out of her when it came out, that your mindset, as you're doing any of this cooking, your mindset, your meditation is really a big part of this whole thing. It's like the all-pervasive thing. That's what is going on here. You're just making food? No, you're doing something, a meditation and a thing that's going into this whole thing, and it's causing you to come into another state.
Harish?
I don't want to get carried away.
It's called prasad.
So that
Can I
is.
try?
Oh yes, you certainly
No,
can.
I try it.
Yes. That does nothing. This is much better.
You can't quite get the speed.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, well, the honey is more sweet.
Yeah.
How do I do myself?
Anybody else want to? And you can't overbeat a celery. So if everybody wants to take a crack there, please feel free. So that's the Dijon, the agave Dijon, honey Dijon. We'll pretend it's honey.
Did you put salt in there?
No, there's no salt in here because the Dijon is usually salty enough that you don't
need
want
it.
to add
Okay.
salt, but you can. You taste,
Okay.
because that's your most important tool in doing anything is your taste buds. So you want to taste it and then make adjustments and decide maybe you want more mustard, you want this mustard. So that's the honey mustard Dijon. So now we're going to do the French. It's classic French dressing, vinaigrette. This one can be adapted to a different style of French vinaigrette. So in here, I already have half a teaspoon of brown mustard, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of paprika. Sweet paprika, Hungarian paprika. It's not the spicy.
Ground mustard, huh? Ground powder.
Brown yellow mustard.
Yeah, nice.
Dijon is brown mustard, and when it used to be made with unripe grape juice back when sort of back in the 19th century. Now they do it with white wine vinegar. So this brown mustard is yellow mustard, or white mustard is what they call it, but it's actually yellow. So here I think it's a cup of oil. Yeah. Cup of oil. And I always like do my dry ingredients first.
together.
Yeah, first. And then I will take like the most liquid, not the oil, the most liquid and put it in so that everything dissolves. Because it's harder to dissolve in oil. You have to let it sit for a while. So that's what I do. This is a combination of apple cider vinegar and lemon juice. It's a really bright dressing. I mean, it's tart. So, and if you want to, I usually do, I'll put like a pinch of sugar in to just sort of like take the edge off of that tartness of the vinegar and the lemon juice. And I think it's a quarter cup of the vinegar and an eighth of a cup of the lemon juice. So,
Just when it's in dried mustard, they have,
yeah, that's it. So I'm going to pour that in there. Take this. Whisk this until
Are any of these different when you're making for 50 people salad dressing?
no, you just like scale it up, you know, and it's
I'm always tempted to add water, which is always a mistake, but
Yeah.
it just seems.
Yeah. No, usually you just like, I just like scale it up and, you know, it's just like, it's hard to tell, this would probably be enough for like 25 people salad. You know, it depends on what's in the salad too. If you have watery ingredients, you know, like a wet lettuce, tomato, things like that, it's gonna water your salad dressing down. And I've seen times, especially with a big salad, making some of these, it's almost like there's no dressing on it. You know, it's like it just completely disappears. So we just whisk to mix French this up. And you can see it's just sort of that French color, and then just add the olive oil, and you can add it all at once, or you can whisk it in. So you see it starts to has that French, but it's not like your supermarket French. This is completely different. Yeah, and so
That's probably the paprika.
huh?
The paprika
Yeah,
that
yeah,
gives
yeah.
it that brown look with the oil.
Right, yeah. So this.
Ron, show me.
Show us.
Tip it towards the camera.
She's
She's trying to take a picture of you and okay, thank you.
You showed me. Ready?
Looks like pumpkin.
So they, if you wanted to take this to like a red French, you could add like probably a cup of this to like a cup of ketchup. And I tried it once. I didn't even particularly care for it, but that's just it's like a redder French. If you eliminated the paprika and just added maybe a quarter cup of finely minced shallots, it would take it into to another like French vinaigrette, rather just a classic French. So anybody want to whisk? Anybody at that? No whisking? No whisking. Okay. So that's the French. Oh.
Strong. I put my nose to that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's really, you know, it's just like tart, bright. That's why I would normally take a, you know, like a pinch of sugar.
Right.
Try to
Smooth it out.
Tone that down.
What type of salad would that be best for?
I would, it's just like probably romaine lettuce, you know, or like Tomatoes, I would so much do tomatoes because they're already acidic, but like cucumbers and toast seeds and maybe even, I mean, I know it's not proper, but I mean, you could throw like grapes in your salad. It would have that contrast of the sweet and tart.
Some avocado, that could go on a salad that has some avocado.
Yeah.
Because avocado is like cooling in.
Yeah. So it's something that'll contrast with. So our last salad dressing is a lemon maple. Lemon maple.
All-time favorite here.
Which I should say it's like if as long as you have a fat and acid, you can make a salad dressing. And ratio, the classic ratio is like 3 parts fat to 1 part acid. This one goes completely. It's almost like an equal amount of acid and fat. So I have about a quarter of a teaspoon of salt in here, and I use salt because in here because there's salt already in these. Salt here because it enhances the flavor. There's none here, and it just sort of like makes everything sort of like pulled together. And so I typically do like this is like probably maybe 15, 20 people, maybe. It depends on how it's considered. So I have a quarter teaspoon of salt in here. I'm going to put lemon juice, which this is about like 10 tablespoons of lemon juice. Then I have 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup. We'll whisk this up before getting the oil. Oil in, and this is about half a cup of oil.
Now, did you use olive oil?
This is olive oil. Yeah, olive oil and all 3. Get all that maple goodness out of there. That's it, and that's it. That's it's doing all pretty simple. Just a few. They would all keep because there's really nothing in there that is.
So it would be reasonable to expect them to keep maybe a month or
Yeah, you probably could. Because they're all things that would last a month sitting in the refrigerator anyway. There's no dairy or anything. So when the best thing to do with this kind of salad dressing is to wait until just before you serve to like dress the salad and toss it, because these will wilt in there. And you'll notice that when you first put it on this salad, if you have, your salad's going to go down by about at least a quarter to a half. And if you let this sit, it just like wilts it. And it gets pretty sad looking. So you want to wait just before you're going to serve to take and dress these and with. I just say something. Salads are like so variable. They're just like anything could go in. You know, we put potatoes in.
Any vegetable.
Nuts,
fruits,
seeds,
nuts,
vegetables.
yeah, you know, and it's just like,
Grains.
again, yeah, it's like whatever suits your taste, whatever suits your fancy, you're able to just take it, throw it in, and it's just the same way with these things. You know, you could add herbs. You know, like to the French, you'd probably add like tarragon or something like that. So it's something that would marry with it. I like to, I'm good because I like to go for like to hit the acid, the sweet, the salty, the pungent, all in some ratio, each one different. You know, I would normally put like some cracked pepper and at least the maple and the French. Not so much the mustard, but you could. And
Right.
so
That was always a big thing with Robert. He used to talk about that. I think 6 different tastes, and that the aha moment with the food. You know, when you got a balance of all of those in every dish, and your mind would just kind of go, like this, you know, and it was like the same in the cooking.
so.
If you wanted to make it just a little spicy, what would you add? Or would you not?
Spicy. Well, I mean, you could certainly put like you could put like a little cayenne or chili powder in there. You could put like a smoked paprika. Maybe you could try something a little bit exotic. You know, there's and sometimes it's like in the olive oil. Sometimes are spicy. You know, they can be. If you ever try something by itself. It can be bitter, and it can be spicy and fruity all at the same time. Depends on the quality of the oil, where it came from, where it's grown, and a lot of supermarket olive oils are blended with other oils that are adulterated. So it's profit margins for the stockholders, and so sometimes they're more bitter, and so that's why you taste adjustments to it. And everyone's just like it's bitter, and you put a little sugar in there, cut that. And what I was taught was that to taste it. If you wanted to try it, you could take like chicken and put it in the palm of your hand and taste it. So take what you have in your salad, like which romaine lettuce or arugula or whatever, and you take a piece and you dip it. And taste it. That way, it's in context.
Yeah.
At that point. So then you can make finer adjustments to it.
So when you go to a supermarket and you're buying olive oil, you're not getting pure olive oil?
Not always. Well, you don't, but because in most of the really common brands like the Imperial, Bertolli, those kind of things, they're probably adulterated. I've heard that it's California olive oil. There's a brand called California, I think. That's supposed to be pure.
We have.
And it doesn't say on it pure olive oil.
Well, it'll say pure olive oil, but that doesn't.
Newman's probably good.
Because I think in the United States commercially, pure olive oil means that there is pure olive oil in there, but there's other things. I think that's what it is.
So you have to research it.
You have to research it.
Several articles on the internet if you're interested about all the Canadian brands. Whole Foods was surprisingly one.
Yeah. And they're there. And usually price is a pretty good indicator. The more you're paying, the better the oil. Organic is just as it helps. I'm sure you're getting up. But it's just something that has in the past, like maybe 6, 7, 8 years, I think has gotten really bad. The olive growers in Europe were concerned about it. We were lucky enough to, when we ran the farmers market, there was a lady whose family owned an olive grove in Greece, And so they had complete control over it. And that's what she brought and sold. And the difference was amazing.
So you know those olive oils where they have the herbs and everything in it? Are those usually also played with?
And they could be, not necessarily, but I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's just it's something you use infused, you know, they use the herbs and infuse things in it.
So this would be too much of a mix of like Indian and American food, but if you're used to making like a vinaigrette or something with garlic, you don't want to use garlic. So I heard that you could use the asafoetida for a replacement of garlic.
Yeah.
So I never made this, but could that be put into salad? Have you ever tried that in salad?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, you have?
I do like an Italian,
Oh,
like
really?
Greek
Oh.
kind of salad dressing.
You don't cook it?
No, I don't cook it.
It's raw. Okay.
But it's just a small bit that's dissolved in, I dissolve it in the acid before adding and then the herbs. So I just take one more.
Little Italian dressing, right? Little Italian herbs, really.
What Italian herbs are? Yeah. I mean, I don't do I just do oregano, basil. That's it. But yeah. That's.
In India, do they make a special Indian salad dressing?
I've seen and made couple Indians like peanut salad dressing.
Oh, okay.
That's not, yeah, but salad dressing in India is definitely, it's not, no, it barely exists. It's almost non-existent because only till recently, and maybe like the last 5 to 10 years, did we actually start getting like lettuce growers that were like growing lettuce. There was never an abundance of lettuce. So now it's only like started like maybe like last 10 years, because even at the ashram we started growing our own lettuces and stuff and started running it through Novras and all of that. So technically salad dressing is not something, the ones that you'll find like if you go to like a 5-star restaurant or into one of the hotels, they'll all be like Western salad dressings that are made there, you know, but still fresh, still fresh, but mostly like just your basic, you know, vinaigrettes and stuff. Or they have the Thousand Island or the Russian or the, you know, blue cheese or yogurt dill or something like that.
I thought there was like a reason for that. I didn't know it was because they didn't grow lettuce.
Yeah.
I thought it was because they thought vegetables should be cooked always. And like here we're happy to eat raw vegetables a lot, but like that in India maybe they're a reason they don't want to eat raw vegetables.
Yeah, they'll do some like they'll do like a raw papaya salad.
Yeah.
Like they'll do raw papaya salad. There's a bunch of other things that they'll do that's raw too. But yeah, for the most part, I would say it's Western. Yeah, it's all cooked. Yeah. So that's pretty amazing, huh? How much knowledge could you have in salad dressing? So now what we'll move on to next is the khichdi. Yeah, that's what I'm going, yeah. So what we'll do now is we'll just let everybody have a view of the khichdi to see where that's ended up at. And then directly following that, we'll just get ready to see the mung dal chillas being done on the grill so everybody can watch Ambika and Ramesh. And also, yeah, let him do that first and then you can bring that. Yeah.
See the consistency?
So take a look, yeah, what,
That's on the thick side. Now,
That's a thick side because the water has evaporated. Then let it sit fast.
so are you gonna add some?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sí, por eso me lo dio.
yeah, it's that place Scarborough and,
Yeah, and the answer to your question, people also make or you saute them. Yes, either.
Be back. It's supposed to be creamy.
This texture would go a lot nicely with curry.
Yeah. It smells delicious.
And some people also add cumin cilantro powder, and I also do add it sometimes. But since I wanted to just show the skeleton in the basic recipe, I didn't add it. And that gives like a slightly brownish color.
Do you do that at the end? differently?
No, when you add the turmeric powder, it adds a really nice taste. Cumin cilantro pepper, not too much, because otherwise it gives a brown color. It spoils the taste. Thank you.
So now what I want to show everybody is just as I had prayed for and hoped for. Ramchandra from Florida did send the fresh curry pata, the curry leaves, and the lemongrass. So this is the type of lemongrass I'm talking about. It's the ornamental lemongrass, not the ones that have the solid stalks in the middle. This is completely different. And this is the curry leaves. I'm not going to open up the whole packet right now, but I'm going to pass it around.
Wow.
Take a smell of that and see the difference. Or maybe no.
They don't grow this here? They don't grow this?
No. It needs to be more of like a, what do you call it? Like a tropical. Same with the mango leaves. All of that we get shipped here.
Are you going to use the ornamental lemongrass?
This is for chai. This we use strictly for chai, not for cooking. Just for chai, yeah. We use it in all of our, or if we make like a Thai curry dish or something like that. But otherwise, mostly it's just for, we put it all in chai. So it'll all get washed, it'll all get cut, it'll all get dried, and it'll be stored in like Ziploc bags or a stainless container. And then we have this for the next, like say maybe 2 months.
Lemongrass and chai.
Yes, we did that on the first day. Yeah, it's delicious.
Is that what we had today? We had
No, today we're gonna have cardamom.
This morning we had chai.
No, not with the, no, this just came, yeah.
So when you made a distinction between this and the kind we can buy in a grocery store, lemongrass,
Yes,
it's a subtle flavor difference or?
yeah, this is a lot more fragrant. And it also, because it's not in a stock, this like also like blends with the flavor, comes out a lot more.
Okay.
The other one, it stays like that, and even if you try to cut it or peel it or shred it or try, it's really tough, so the flavor doesn't really permeate the chai as well as this does.
Right, it's more like grass.
Yeah, this makes it really fragrant. Exactly. Can you smell that? Is it?
So Daviana, when you grow this here, how?
When we grow this here, our bushes get up to like this, and then every day we just go out and cut them, dry them, bring them out. They're up in Srinivas, behind Srinivas. There's like 4 bushes, and every time we come to the summer, to spring, we plant them immediately. And then they just grow, and we cut, and grow, and we cut, and send it to many different people. Yeah. So I think now we'll move to the mung dal chilla. So Ramesh and Ambika, and I'm going to request Ron to go ahead and let's continue with the salad dressings and get that all moved out to the dining room. Yeah, food I've said that we'll eat around 12:30, 12:45 as the mung dal chillas come out. And then you'll complete the kitchen. Yeah. Have to. Rub your fingers.
This is more or less the consistency we're getting. Sorry for that. So it's medium, not too watery and not too... Probably this one takes more water because all the skins are there of the mold. So with this chila, you will get more like a grainy texture, and it's going to be thicker because of the skins of the mold that are there. But if you use the other type of mold, the white split yellow, it will be softer and everything will bind together more, and it will be like you can make more thinner chilas with that.
Mm-hmm.
But with this you get the extra fiber, right?
Right.
Sure.
Does chilla mean pancake? Does chilla mean pancake?
I really don't know the meaning of chila. Do you know? Shirley?
Pancake is Western chilla, I think. It's
पूरा वो नाम क्या है?
Puda बोलते हैं.
पूरा चिला सेम ही है, मतलब वो एक जैसा ही होता है.
There's really no
English में
translation.
क्या है?
डिफरेंट नाम अलग.
इसका मतलब क्या है?
लेकिन इंग्लिश में
सिर्फ वो शेप ऐसा है इसमें.
हाँ,
क्या
मूंग दाल चिला, बेसन पूड़ा से
हाँ सही
डोसा, अलग अलग नाम.
हाँ लेकिन जो रूप है
हाँ,
वो जो क्या नाम है
मतलब क्या है नाम का?
chiller.
Alright, so at home we usually do it just with a pan, a non-stick pan. They come very easy. But here, this is a
Whole nother kettle of fish.
yeah, another thing. So I'm gonna try a little bit. The first ones are the most difficult. Usually they break, so Ramesh gets lucky. So I'm gonna try just a little bit there to make a small one. So if it breaks, we don't waste peanut oil. Yeah, that's peanut oil. Last year they had corn oil as the basic oil, but both of them work well. Sunflower oil I use at home.
That's expensive though, right? Sunflower. At least here it's expensive.
Here it's expensive, in Argentina it's not expensive, it's a good quality. So I'm just going to try a small one here. So this is a mini one, but you try to do that. You try to move from the center and go to the sides to create a round shape. So it's all about practice. So probably the last ones will be perfect, but not the first one. So we wait for a minute or two. Because I already add a lot of oil because it's my first one, I'm not going to add more. But on the next batches, what you do is you put a little bit of oil on the edges too, so you get that crispiness, and on the top a little bit if you want, and then you flip it. Now we have to wait. Ramesh is saying it's not hot enough.
These are where the internal prayers start to go, like really like you're just praying for your grill, for the flame, for all the elements to like work. Because sometimes, like I've said, if the door is open, the wind is blowing, the thing gets adjusted, you got to close the door so you have no other elements, even the fan sometimes here. And just making sure it's hot enough so that they don't come out raw.
So you start with the edges, and it's coming out fine. So
pretty good for the first
temperature is
one.
fine, everything is fine, but not here. So I'm going to wait a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little thick for the first one, but it's my trial one. I'll try to make them thinner. Tibiani likes them thinner and crispy, right?
Yeah.
That's how you like them. And usually these ones, you see how it's a little golden? And you don't move it. Once you flip it, make sure you don't move it because it will stick. And you can add a little bit more oil if you want them crispy, just on the edges. I'm not going to add right now. Yeah, that's it.
The first one, that's good one.
What's the difference between this and
So with this butter,
What?
What's the difference
it's more
between this and
fluffy
paratha?
because of all the
This
skins.
doesn't have any
So
flour in
it's
it. The
difficult to make
paratha
them
has the
thinner.
whole wheat flour in it. Parathas have flour.
I feel like that's really good for winter. Really good winter chiller.
I don't know. I like it in any season. And like Vivek said, this is a tridoshik. You know the moon that is tridoshik, so it's good for any constitution. And we usually have it for breakfast or even for dinner. Early dinner.
It's good with peanut butter and honey on it too.
You know what? I haven't tried that one.
Terrible, but it is.
Once you get going, you can make a lot.
Yeah.
Once you pick up momentum, you can make a lot.
Yeah.
So now, is it determined by how much oil you put on your grill or pan to how it gets crispy?
Yeah, of course. The crispiness depends absolutely on the oil. But a good grill and a good temperature also helps. Okay.
Now production.
Wonderful smell.
Does it grill? It gets a little more seasoned after you do it, right? It's easier.
On the
Grill
grill?
gets a little more seasoned as you do more, and then they get
Yeah, you
easier.
can do more.
It's like when we make manapot, that happens. The first ones are tougher, and
So you always make sure you mix it before you start another one. the edge. You don't go back because otherwise it will start showing crazy. So I'm gonna make a few. So this is where the dance starts. I'm going to make only 4 at a time. It's been a long time since I don't make them on the grill. Okay, so I take that one over there. So you can do this, you know, a little bit on the edges, just a few drops, and a little bit here. A little bit on the edges, and a little bit there. One more here.
I got this. Burn, and it would be difficult to get it flipped. Almost good. I say. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually saying it's too thick here. It's gonna get better.
Maybe the last one.
Yeah. In its own rhythm, and it's easier. The first one are more difficult.
Is it easier for you don't have 25 people watching you?
No pressure. This one is sticky.
Put oil on that.
I think, Ramesh, this is going to be yours.
Great.
This is still.
So I think at this point we'll say Sadhgurnath Maharaj Ki Jai. Carrot chutney and the mung dal chilla. All your wisdom and knowledge about the grill and the sensitivity that we need to welcome it with. And so with that, we'll let them continue making our lunch and finishing up the carrot chutney, and then we'll see everybody for lunch. I think we're going to shoot for about 12:45. So 12:45 in the dining room, lunch for everybody.